Hi students, in last video we discussed about functions and types of functions. So what is a function? It is a subprogram which performs a specific task. Then we discussed that there are two types of functions like predefined and user defined. Predefined means which are already defined in C, and user defined means which are defined by the user. Now here based on return type and argument list, there are four different types of functions. As we discussed in the last session, first one, function without arguments and without return type. Second one, function with arguments and without a return type. So third, function with arguments and with a return type, and the fourth one is function without arguments and with a return type. So totally there are four different types of functions, mom. And for every function there should be so we need to define function declaration or function header. For every function there should be a function declaration, or it is also called as function header, mom. And there should be a function definition. So definition means defining the body of the function. Function declaration means, so it is a like variable declaration. It is an intimation to the compiler that so this is the name of the function and this is the return type of the function, and these are the arguments this function is going to take. Example for function declaration, so you can write void function name example sum, then int x comma int y. Here this represents that so this function return type is void, means it will not return any value. So this name of the function is sum and it will take two parameters. While calling the function you need to pass two numbers. Function definition means like main defining the body of the function, that is how the function will work. So that code we need to write here. So the function definition contains this code one. So the function definition, so defining the original body of the function. Here this is the body of the function. This is function definition. Then the third, there must be a function call. Function call means calling the function. Example, in our previous programs we have called a function called sqrt function. This is a predefined function. We have called by passing a number. Then the returned value we have stored in a variable called result. Similarly, this function called sum you need to call by passing two numbers, sum of 10 comma 20. This is function call. So when we call a function, control jumps to that function definition, executes the statements of that function, and it will return back to the caller. Okay, so for every function there should be a function declaration. In some cases declaration is optional, that is if you define this function before the function call, declaration is optional, but I recommend you as a beginner we should write declaration also. Declaration, definition and call. So now let us discuss about function without arguments and with a return type. Now here let me remove this part. So let us discuss about function without arguments and with a return type. Now the syntax for this is without argument and with return type. The syntax here is no return type, means what will be the return type? Return type is void. Then function name, void name of the function, whatever the operation we are performing that you can place, and the empty parenthesis. Either you can write empty parenthesis or you can place void inside this parenthesis. So both represents it will not take any arguments. This is void, means it will not return any value, that is no return type. This void represents no return type, and empty parenthesis represents without arguments. Without return type, without arguments. In this way we will define this function. Now let us discuss with no arguments, that is without arguments and with return type. Let me discuss few examples. In this video I will discuss around So let me discuss two examples first. Separately I will create video for other programs. So I will create some 4 or 5 programs on function without arguments and without return type. Okay, now first let us see sum of two numbers using function with no arguments and no return type. So what is the program? Sum using functions. Sum of two numbers using functions. So here the first one is void function name sum. So this part we call it as function declaration. This part we call it as function declaration or function header. Then we need to define the function, that is void sum. Name of the function is sum. Inside that, whatever the logic or name of the function is sum. Generally I want to find sum of two numbers here. So what is the logic to find sum of two numbers? Declare three variables int a comma b comma c, read two numbers from the user, ask the user enter two numbers. So by saying this, user will enter two numbers, store that numbers in the variables a and b, ampersand a comma ampersand b. Then c equal to a plus b. Then print f sum equal to percentage d slash n comma c. This part we call it as function definition. Now earlier we used to write the same code inside the main function. Now instead of writing in main, the same code we are writing in a separate block. So this separate block we are calling it as function. Now we have not called this function, just we have declared the function and we have defined. So if you run your program, it will not display anything because we have not called the function. Now let me save this program here. Save. Sorry. Now, so it has been not saved. So let me type this code once again. Void sum. This is function declaration. Void sum. This is function definition. Now, so declare the variables here int a comma b comma c. So printf enter two numbers. Then store that value in the variables a and b, ampersand a comma ampersand b. Save your program. Then c equal to a plus b. Then print f sum equal to percentage d slash n comma c. Now save your program. Save. Then compile and run. It will not display anything. It will display the blank screen. Now run your program. So here I have not used getch. So now use getch. Now run your program. There is nothing on the screen because now let me trace this program. Observe carefully. This is very important. In C language, the execution of the program starts from main, then clr clears, then getch closes the window. Now I want to execute this program. This is function call. I am calling the function. Earlier I have not called this function. Now I am calling the function. Then before getch I am writing one message called, or let me close this part. Now run your program. Control plus F9. Enter two numbers 11 and 22. So sum equal to 33 displays onto the screen. Now so observe here carefully what happens. So here I will place one message because after function call, control again it will return back to the caller. So I want to show that I am writing here the end. Now save. Now run your program. Enter two numbers 22, 33. Sum equal to 55. The end message will be displayed. Now observe carefully. Now I am tracing the program. So sum calling the function. So control jumps to this particular block, accepts two numbers. So 10 and 20 you enter. So the 10 and 20 will be calculated, finds the sum, displays the sum onto the screen, and then returns back to the main. From where the function is called to that location it returns back. This is how to find sum of two numbers using functions, that is with no arguments and no return type. Now what I do here is, now I will go for another program, that is maximum of two numbers. In the same function I will write in the same program maximum of two numbers, that is greatest among two numbers. So with no arguments and no return type. So void name of the function I am using here max. Now here I will define the function. You can define after the sum or before sum also. Okay, no issues. Void max. Now declare two variables int a comma b. Sir, already the variables are declared in sum. Can we use? No, we cannot use, because the variables declared in one function are not visible in other functions. So int a comma b. Now accept two numbers. Printf enter two numbers. Accept two numbers from the user. By saying this, user will enter two numbers. Scanf %d ampersand a comma ampersand b. Accepted two numbers from the user. Now here this a and b are different and this a and b are different. This a and b are local to max. This a and b are local to sum function. Now if a greater than b, if a greater than b, display here printf %d is big, that is the value will be displayed there, that is a value. Then else printf %d is big /n comma b, b value will be displayed here. Now I am calling the function after sum. I will call the another function called max also. I will call both the functions, or first let me please place this one in comment. Now I am calling only max function. I am not calling the sum function. Let me trace this program. Observe here. So s, then call the function max. Control jumps to this block, accepts two numbers 10 and 20. Then a 10 will, now if you observe here, a value is 10 and b value is 20. So 10 greater than 20, false, goes to the else part, displays 20 is big. Now returns back to the main function. Now you can see 20 is big, the end. Similarly, what I want to perform here is, in the same program I want to call two functions, sum as well as max. Now see here, let me trace the program. Save your program. So sum, control jumps to this particular function, so accepts two numbers. So you can enter any two numbers 11 and 22. Here you can see a value is 11, b value is 22, and the c value is garbage value initially, now it is 33. Finds the sum, displays the sum. Now you can see on the screen sum equal to 33. Execution is completed, then it returned back. Now again it calls the function max. Control jumps, accepts two numbers, so enter 22, 33, then 22 greater than 33, false, goes to the else part. Now here you can see undefined symbol c, because c belongs to which block? Sum function, so it is not visible here. So this a and b, these are local to max. Now returns back, then displays, then it returns back, displays the end. So these are some of the